Today we're looking at Tempered Will. It is a tanky 3-set piece, giving a damage reduction for 15%, and for each blocked enemy increases defense by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. So we're going to have a look at this, see how it works, see what it's good for, and have a little play test with it. So that's what we're doing today. I'll see you after the intro. Hello and welcome, I'm Mystical, this is Misstical Gaming. We're back into Watcher of Realms now. Like I said before, we're having a look at the Tempered Will set. The Tempered Will set is a 3-piece set, gives damage reduction of plus 15%. Bear in mind, that is one sentence there. This isn't one big sentence. So it gives damage reduction of plus 15%, one statement, that's what it gives. Then it also, for each enemy blocked, increases defense by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. They don't do that together, so we're not getting 60% damage reduction, we're getting damage reduction of 15%, and then we're getting the block and the defense up. So just bear that in mind. It's not this super OP set that you might think it is. Okay, right, now that's out of the way. I've paired it up with Guardian set. As you can see, I've got Krodor and I've got him in some terrible pieces from the Guardian set. Why have I done that? Because I've got terrible pieces from the Tempered Will set, so it goes together, and this gives me a little over the defense that I would get with Tempered Will, so that's why I've done it this way round. So the question is really, where do we use tanks and when is this going to be useful for us? Very well, we use tanks in Artifact Material Raid, AMR, so we will chuck them in there to see what happens. We use tanks in Era 2, so we'll have a look and see what happens there. And then we also use tanks in the Immortal Codec boss that's on at the moment, so we chuck them in there and see what happens there, and then we can have a bit of a side-by-side comparison to see how things pan out for us. So we're just going to take him into AMR 18, we'll chuck him down and we'll see how much he gets hit for, and then we'll swap the gear over and see how much he gets hit for retrospectively in the Tempered Will set. There's a boss coming down, he's a defensive base champion anyway, so that's what he's getting hit for, and to make it easier all round, I've made a note of it and we will just chuck it up on the side of the screen next time round. That's the boss going through. We've swapped our gear over now for our next run. Our defense is about the same, it's a little bit lower if I'm honest, but they're, you know, I'd rather err on the side of caution. This time we've got damage reduction of 15%, for each enemy blocked increases defense by 5%, stacking up to 4 times. So we won't get all the benefit because we're not blocking a lot of people coming along. So that won't be as good for us, but we do want to test it in all scenarios. So let's just have a quick fight. We'll put him in, and then like I said before, we'll put the damage of last time that he took up on the screen. That should be up for us now. And then we'll stick him down and we'll see what we get hit for. We'll slow down to 1 times speed as the boss approaches. Here we go. That's 16.4 as opposed to 16.8 last time. 16.1 as opposed to... So we're taking 300 to 400 less damage each time. The decreased attack went on at the same time, so we haven't got to worry about that. His hits against us are the same. We took the same number of hits, but we took less damage. So that's a step in the right direction. You'd require less healing, which would make the fight easier for you. And if you want it to be self-sustaining, you might well be able to do it. So yeah, good start, I think. Good start. There you go, swap back over, we're back into our Guardian set, damage taken minus 15%. Where else do we like to tank? Well, we like to tank in Gear Raid 1, absolutely not. Gear Raid 3, absolutely not. Gear Raid 2, absolute possibility. Where do we want to tank? Let's be honest. We want to stop these, don't we? Golden Guardian. Guardian in 18, 17, 16. 16 is the first place we meet the Golden Guard, which is the one that does a solid impact. So the guard accelerates towards us, collides with us, and does collateral damage to us. So if we're going to use a set, we do want it to be useful. And I think this is probably going to be one of the places you want it to be useful. You could save yourself. You can take the damage from these at stage 18, 19, then it could be a really good set. It could have a place here because it does that damage reduction, doesn't it? You'd have to remove them for the shriek because it does 150%, doesn't it? 18, yeah, 19. There's the shriek for stage 19, whereas stage 18 you haven't got the shriek. Stage 19 you have. Right, let's try stage 19 and see if it does any good at all. So stage 19, we fight. We're going to have to do the ads to start with, aren't we? Right, okay. I'll speed this bit up for you. Right, so there's a Golem Shriek. And then what we'd normally do, we'd put down a sacrificial tank on the third slam. So we'll put him down on it and see if anything happens. Here we go. 1, 2. Now waiting for the third slam. He's going to have to take all 3 of these, isn't he? I don't think he's going to do it. Come on, flash a light. There's the flash of light. Down he goes. 2, 3. That's the second one. He's almost dead. This collides. Oh yeah, he's gone already. 2, 3. Didn't survive that at all. Right then. So moment of truth. Let's chuck him in the set and see if we can survive it this time round. Because this is where we'd really like it to survive for, isn't it? Here we are, back on our tempered wheel set. There's our defence. We're about 40 points lower on defence this time round. Let's go and have a look. Here, 2, 15. Let's fight this and see how we get on. Again, we'll speed up this beginning bit for you. Don't want to watch this at all. Right, here we go. There's the shriek. There's a sign of the ads coming in. Here's the earthquake coming up. 1, 2. And get ready to place him down on the third strike and the flash. Come on. There's the flash. Boom, let's put him down and see what happens. We took a lot less damage, I think. Oh, I don't know. Look at that. He's plummeted there. He's gone again. That's a shame. Then that might be the gear I've got him in, I don't know. But I think that's where you'd want to really use it. You'd be saving yourself a set there, wouldn't you? You'd have another slot to use someone in. Save yourselves a few coins. That would make it easier. That would be an ideal place to see him being used. Right, so here we are, back in our Guardian set. 15% of damage taken. Mortal Codec. Really need to do this properly, actually, at some point. So we've got a slack handful of tanks. We'll just chuck him in. I'm more curious about him and how he acts here, as opposed to how he acts against the rest of the tanks, so to speak. So if I put you over there, you can start blocking everything. Go back into the actual phase. Olag over there is taking 1,500. Baron is taking, what, 3,000. And he, in his set, is taking 661. Okay. Interesting to see if that drops down. It's a steady state of 661 all the way through this. He should be going up and down on his buff there, shouldn't he? And it is annoying that it doesn't show the buff or stacks or anything else like that. Really wish they'd sort that out. That is annoying. They must have the data somewhere. It's just a matter of showing it on the screen next to your champion. Back on our tempered wheel set. Let's go and see if it makes any difference in here. Down there last time. Over there. I'm getting back in the same sort of order. You're still taking a minimal 281 damage there. Look, it's down to 1 times speed for the boss rush. Taking what, 348, so his damage has dropped, particularly now he's tanking up the 4, isn't he? He's getting the full stacks, giving himself another 20% defense. In a defensive based champion, that is all good news for him. Yeah, so Olag is taking 2000 damage and he's still taking 411 now as the damage has been spiking up, but he's nowhere near in trouble. Maybe the plan is to not put it on your best tank and put it on your worst one. We've possibly seen the argument to be made, but he's definitely taking less damage. No real difference in it. Possibly the problem is either mine isn't good enough by any stretch of the imagination and you need a full working set, which is going to take a while to do, because AMR you can already build tanks tanky enough to tank the boss, particularly when you chuck a healer in there without any issues whatsoever. Immortal Codec, I don't think it made much of a difference to him at all, but the only place you really want to use it is hopefully in gear raid 2 18 and above, and whether he could get enough mitigation out of that set to take those ads coming down, because normally you chuck in an invincible tank there. He's got an 8-second window, so he can take all the damage coming for 8 seconds, and then you chuck in someone else. But there isn't anywhere in the game, I don't think, that requires you to be more tanky than you are, other than the gear raid 2 at the moment. Unless you can get a set that's good enough for that, I'm not sure it's really, I won't say worth it, because it is, the set is better than current sets anyway. So given the choice, you'd definitely want to put him in it. Tanky sets, Tempered Will, Guardian. Tempered Will is definitely better than Guardian. Or at least I think so, certainly in the little bit of testing I've done, it did appear to come across that way. Particularly on a defense-based champion, where you can up their defense even more. Now the Unshaken Will, where are we there? Whether this tanky piece is a lot better, I don't know. But we shall see later on if we ever get a set of it and we can play around with it. So I think it's fine. If you get it, great. You'll up your stats further, which is nice, but you need to. Probably don't at the moment with the state of the game. But future content, who knows? You might want someone who's very tanky and defense damage mitigation orientated. You might require that going forward. At the moment, I just don't see it, which is fine, because it's going to take a bloody long time before you get good working sets of this anyway, and it is better probably than the Guardian set, and it's nice to have more than one set running. You never know which ones you're going to get lucky with the rolls and the RNG in this, so you might end up getting a set of this much earlier and you get a decent set of Guardian set, but I don't think there's much in it, to be honest. The other thing I think I will have a play around with is damage reduction 15%. Now I'm assuming that's reducing the damage you've got coming to you by 15%, as opposed to the other set here that is letting you take the damage and then reducing it by 15%. So this is incoming total damage being reduced by 15%, as opposed to after your defense mitigation taken in, is my guess. I don't know for definite. I'll see if I can get a few more sets and then play around with it. Be easier, but I was stupid and rolled some of it up. It would have been easier to test naked. So it'll be interesting to see how that actually works, because I think the damage reduction 15% would be much more valuable than the damage taken 15%, if I'm understanding it correctly. So that would be a test we'll have to do later on. But yeah, I think it's a good set. I would pick it over the Guardians set, but whether there's a specific place for it in the game and being that tanky, I don't think there is yet. You can get away with being a lot less tanky, but then I haven't pushed into the Void Rift too far. So maybe when you're getting bombarded in there, it could have a good place for you in there. I don't know. So maybe that'd be another place to keep an eye on it. But yeah, I think it's a good set, particularly as you're getting it for essentially just farming dungeons anyway. It's a good set to have in there. Okay, thank you very much for your time. I'll see you all in video again tomorrow. Goodbye.